Hey, happy day 856? No, 855. 855 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business, like decades in both, 2.5, over a quarter century in corporate America, working for some of the coolest, biggest and smallest, because I work in all different size organizations for over a quarter of a century, primarily in all in management and in the quality, and then I inherited sanitation, but usually in the area of quality, which is all about what? Processes and systems and relationships and continuous improvement. And so it's kind of right up my alley because it allowed me to stick my nose in everybody's business throughout the entire organization, report to the top leaders in the organizations, and it was really fun for me because it's right up my alley. I like finding things, digging into them, finding the root cause of them, and finding ways to improve them and actually put systems in place to make sure that they're predictable and we always know what to expect. You know, kind of like McDonald's with their predictable systems. You go to McDonald's pretty much anywhere in the country, and my son said they're a little different in the world. He's much more well-traveled than I am, and he said, yeah, they are different, but they're still predictable for the environment that they're in. And we want to do that and create that in our own lives and in our own businesses. We do that in our lives through habits. We do it in our businesses through systems and processes, procedures, things like that. So I did that, and then over the last, I hate to admit it, but 47 years, I have run and owned and operated different types of businesses in a lot of different industries. You know, real estate, hospitality, did a little stint in MLM. You know, I think almost everyone, if you're old enough, has at some way, shape, or form or time been involved in some kind of a network marketing company or network marketing organization. And then online, I haven't even counted all the different things I've done and tried as I've been making this transition to the online world. But there's been a lot of those things. Done webinars and launches, and right now, if you know me or have seen me at all, you know that I do challenges. And speaking of challenges, 40 days, starting a 40-day Get Up and Go challenge day. I've been challenged with a group of over 150,000 other entrepreneurs to start our own challenges, do our own. Actually, it was supposed to be like a personal challenge for 40 days. Think of 5 areas in your life that you want to improve in over the next 40 days. Create your own challenge to improve in those areas. Now, my experience has been with challenges that if you try to do 5 things, just like if you try to do 5 things in any area of your life, it's pretty hard to actually see results in all 5 of those areas. But what we're going to do in the Get Up and Go challenge, what I'm going to personally do, is break those 5 areas down so that we focus each week on one area, that we have an overall overarching set of objectives that we want to get, results we want to achieve in 40 days. Now, I'm finding people are freaking out about 40 days, right? Oh, I can't commit to myself for 40 days. I can't do a 40-day challenge. There's no way. I can barely make it through a 5-day challenge. Guess what? About 85% of people will never even do a 5-day challenge. They won't make it through a 5-day challenge. But let me ask you this. Aren't you worth getting what you want? And aren't you doing the same thing day in and day out for a lot longer than 40 days? I know I've done the same thing day in and day out for decades that hasn't gotten me what I want. So I'm definitely all in on committing to 40 days to actually focus on getting what I want. And what I'm doing is it's going to be less than 10 minutes a day. I am not going to spend more than 10 minutes a day focused on this challenge and getting what I want. Why? Because I got a whole lot of other things going on in my life, and you probably do too. So over the next 40 days, I'm going to rise to the challenge because I love challenges. And I remember the first 365-day challenge I did. It was with a group of, I don't even know how I came across it, but it was a group of us that one of the people from ClickFunnels pulled together, Marion Asana, and he said, hey, I'm going to do a Facebook Live every day for a year, and I want people to come along with me. And he started a group, and I can't even remember how many of us started the challenge, but at the end of the year, I think 6 or 7 of us, I can't remember if there were 6 or 7 of us that actually finished the challenge, but of, say, at least 100 people, only 6 or 7 actually completed the challenge. And believe me, that was challenging because there were days that I got in Facebook jail. One other lady and I ended up in Facebook jail during this challenge, and we had to figure out how to do our live videos and get them uploaded to the Facebook page and the Facebook group every single day for that year, even though we were kicked out of Facebook. That was interesting, but guess what? I learned so much doing that challenge. Now, were there days I didn't want to hop into that group and do a Facebook live video? Were there days, thank God no one saved them, that I looked like death warmed over because I got sick during that year? Absolutely. But guess what? I was also doing my own 365-day challenge while I was doing that. So by the end of that 365 days, it doesn't take anything for me to grab my phone and hop on Facebook Live or to do a live video on pretty much any platform. I've done a 90-day YouTube challenge with another amazing woman, Heather Ann Havenwood, the sexy boss, which I was Pajama Grandma and the sexy boss doing a 90-day YouTube challenge together. That was fun, right? But if I didn't challenge myself, we're challenging ourselves all the time, whether we believe it or not, whether we want to or not. We find ourselves in dilemmas and in situations where it's a challenge. We don't just roll over and roll through life unchallenged or with just swimmingly everything going awesome and nothing ever comes up that tips us over a little bit. Number one, life would be really boring, right? Maybe some people would think, I just want to flow through my life and I don't want anything to happen. I just want it to be medium, normal. I don't want any real high highs and I don't want any real lows. I especially don't want any real low lows. So I'm willing to live in the middle so that I don't have to experience anything really bad. Guess what? Bad things are going to happen to you. Really bad things have happened in my life. Not because I wanted them to, but somehow they were invited into my experience and I needed to figure out who I was and how I was going to get through them. It's what's going to happen for each and every one of us. There's bad things going on around us all the time, and we decide how much they are or are not going to impact us. Right now, we got a couple things. We got the COVID-19 virus, which, there's people all over the spectrum with that. Oh, it's fake. Oh, it's not fake. Oh, my family died of it. Oh, it's all over the board, just like everything else. It's how we react to it that's going to matter. How are we going to take personal responsibility? How are we going to show up during this time? Now, throw on top of that, riots all over the country. I'm not even going to talk about this because anytime I say anything about it, even though I've never said anything controversial about the whole situation, I get just crucified in social media. And I think a lot of us do. Or it's not even about me, it's about what happens in the streams if I mention it. So I'm just going to not touch it. And I'm not saying anything because I don't have feelings about it and beliefs that we're all human beings and we just need to treat one another like human beings. I don't care about any of the isms. And it's not that I don't personally care about it. It means I don't judge people based on the idioms. We're all prejudiced to some point, and we're not just prejudiced against the sexual orientation, skin color, people's different beliefs. We tend to stick with what we know and what we've experienced, and it's a choice to be open to other possibilities and not judging people based on anything. Because guess what? Every single human being on this planet is different. We're all unique and special. We might not show it. We might not look different than the group that we run with or the people that we spend the most time around, but each and every one of us are different. Anybody that started a business and comes from a family that is not at all business oriented or entrepreneurial, they get as much grief and crap from their family as people that are in an environment that they're not used to being in. I remember being in engineering school and being one of the only women, and people saying, oh, that's white privilege because you got to go to engineering school. I am super grateful for all of the experiences that I've had in my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've had some of each, right? Every single one of us, if we live to be a certain age, will have had good experiences and bad experiences. And I choose to have the highs and the lows, the good experiences and the bad experiences. Not because I choose to, but because they're going to happen around me and to me no matter what, as they're going to happen to each and every one of us. So just remember that we are all, whether we believe it or not, 100% responsible for our reaction to things, for our choices of how we respond, for our choices of our actions. What we do, we're responsible for, we're accountable for. Have we all made mistakes in our life? Oh my God, I've done stupid things in my life and things that I wish I hadn't done. Most every one of us have, because that's how we grow. We grow through the things that challenge us. We grow through the things, challenges change us. If it weren't for obstacles and challenges and roadblocks and things that happen to us along the way and in our world, we wouldn't become the people that we're really here to become. We wouldn't. So as much as we dislike challenges, I say, hey, let's embrace the challenges and remember to look for the root cause and realize that as human beings, we are infinitely capable and creative and can figure out how to make the world a better place. So Get Up and Go Challenge, 40-day challenge, starts today, under 10 minutes. I actually know what today is going to be about, and I will confess right here and now that when I decide I'm going to do a challenge, especially a 40-day one, since it just came up last week, I have not mapped out the whole challenge. I don't know what I'm going to do every day for 40 days because I am going to, like I do everything else, tweak and change and adjust through the journey and along the way to make sure that I create the best experience possible for you and for myself, to make sure that you and I both get the absolute best results we possibly can. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 40 days any better than you do. You know, we can predict, we can expect things to be pretty much the same 40 days from now, unless we make massive changes in our life, right? So in 40 days, I am committing to make massive changes in my life. I don't know what 5 areas of my life I'm going to work on for sure. I'll figure it out by 11 o'clock when I have to do today's challenge. But, you know, there's 7 main areas of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationships, financial, of course, and contribution. What we're doing, how we're showing up in the world is what I consider contribution. Each of those 7 areas of our life needs some type of attention. I know for sure one of my areas is going to be my physical health and well-being, because as much as I tried to keep up, and I hate the word tried, I did not successfully manage my health throughout the COVID crisis and the COVID quarantine period. And I am somebody that's personally at risk and immune system challenged. So I need to continue being vigilant, whether other people believe it or not, whether other people do it or not. I am 100% responsible for my life and my behavior, so I have to choose what's right for me. And what's right for me is to continue to physically distance, decide where I am and am not going to go, and I am or am not going to go to stores, especially if there's, you know, danger and looting and all kinds of craziness in the world. I'm especially not going to go to them. So I will continue to do that, and I encourage you to continue to do what's right for you. So I know for sure one of the areas I really need to focus on is my physical health, my physical well-being, to get my energy back up, to get my clothes fitting loosely again, not snugly, and things like that. But mostly so that I can be here to show up for those I love and care about. So I can be here to show up for my life. So for sure physical will be one. I'm sure, what else? Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. I'm going to combine all into one because I already have an activity I'm going to do for that for 40 days. And it's one of my favorite activities that I've actually, again, really let slip, not just through COVID, but since I was moving and doing my transition. I let part of my daily routines and one of my really good habits, I just let it fly by the wayside. And guess what? Good habits, hard to start, really easy to give up. Bad habits, easy to start, really hard to give up. Think of smoking, drinking, any kind of drugs, any kind of addictive thing is really, really easy to start, right? Sometimes it's just one time and boom, you're hooked. And it's really, really hard to quit. But then the good habits, the morning routines, the things that takes us a while to get going, exercise, taking care of ourselves, eating right, getting enough sleep, getting up on time, you know, showing up on time. These habits are really hard to create and start and commit to, but they're super duper easy to give up on a break. And I, like all human beings, have found that, even though I thought I've done a good job creating these habits and these rituals and routines in my life, I found that just as all human beings, things can still happen outside of me that will tip me over and knock me off track. And that's why I'm willing to say yes to a 40-day challenge. That's why I'm willing to say yes. I know what works for me, so why am I not doing it? Because how often do we know what to do and we just don't do it? You might not, but I'm definitely guilty of that. So 40-day challenge, get up and go. It's right at the end of a 5-day challenge. I know people love 5-day challenges, but I have not hit my stride in 5-day challenges. I think that, yeah, you can give people a super duper teeny tiny taste of what you do and how you can serve them, but I think that people deserve so much more than a teeny tiny taste, and that a lot of the way challenges are being used is just to convince people to come into your world, which is great to invite people into your world, but it's feeling like trickery these days, and I hate trickery, and I maybe it's because of, you know, some of the ploys and things that go on in the marketing industry, especially in the online marketing world, that are just mind-boggling. You know, there's behind the scenes in every industry, right? There's a way, the insiders' way of doing things in every industry. Every single industry has tricks and tips and hacks, right? I hate the word hacks. I don't like the word trick either. You know, trick is for magic tricks, right? But I don't think you have to trick people, or, you know, if you're having to trick people, you're working with the wrong people in my book. I say I want to be in relationships with people that it feels good to be in business with and to do business with and to help, right? I want to do business with people I want to help. I don't want to do business with people that I have to trick or market to. Or, you know, building relationships to me is really how I want to do business. It isn't about some tricky tip or strategy or marketing tip. Although I can teach people how to do those. I spent the last 3 years learning them, but I think that they're just like frosting on the cake, or sprinkles on the top. They shouldn't be the cake, which is the foundation, and they shouldn't be the frosting, which is the things that sweeten the dessert. They should just be the decorative pieces that add a little flair. They shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. And what I've learned online is that the online world, that one of the biggest differences from the offline and the online world is that the online world is 90% focused on marketing and the way things look and perceptions. And to me, it's just like, you know, advertising. And it's you know, the fluff and frosting, but there's got to be substance. There's got to be a foundation. And I see some marketers going more toward the foundational things, but there's still so much smoke and mirrors online that it's kind of mind-boggling. And so I don't want you to be looking at 855 days of trying to get your business online. So hop on board. If I can help you in any way, let me know, so that you don't have to be talking to yourself 855 days into your journey of adding an online component to your business, or like me, switching from the offline world to the online world because you want the freedom and the security that can represent, especially in times like this where we've got a pandemic that shuts our whole world down, or not our whole world, but a lot of our world, without much or any warning, right? All the changes. All right, I am going to hop off and get ready for my amazing little granddaughter to come in and hang out with me today. Have an absolutely amazing day. Again, if I can help you anyway, just ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another update and report on how the first day of the challenge go. I'm anticipating that it'll be awesome. I'm also anticipating that not many of y'all will step up and say yes to 40 days, which again, my whole point in tirade was we spend years, 40 years doing things that we think we should do and that we are told are the right things to do, but are they really the right things for you? This challenge will help you to uncover that. It will help me to uncover that and continue to move, not slowly toward what I want, but sprint toward what I want. And I want you to come right along with me. Have an amazing day, and I will be with you tomorrow.